Alright, game of the day. This is going to be a Skyhammer match. However, a bonus clip for you. Today we're playing Fresh Air. Now, the reason I'm looking at Fresh Air is because of the recent balance patch, which theoretically could have buffed Fresh Air quite a lot. So, the devs first of all changed electric discharge to be a thing that really doesn't hit very hard unless it crits. So it's kind of reshuffled a bit, and you want to make sure you're actually getting your precision in there. Otherwise, it's a bit lame. So I wanted to see if the pressure of the build felt nerfed at all. Since on paper, I think mathematically maybe it might have a bit. It doesn't feel very nerfed pressure-wise because of electric discharge. Really, I can't tell much of a difference whatsoever, which is great. But then there's also been a couple of other really nice changes to the balance that has helped Fresh Air. 3 in particular. I played quite a few Qs today, getting some muscle memory back, you know, re-establishing the playstyle. So I'm going to show you a bonus clip which demonstrates one of them. So here we're at the start of the game on some kind of Coliseum game. And anyway, there's a stealth, Hollow, and Ranger there. So I've got to leave, all right? So I'm bailing out, and we got a Hollow. So Fresh Air, as far as I believe, especially on open fields, Fresh Air's always done very well against Hollow. Because they got a lot of projectile-oriented stuff, and you can use the super speed to kite away from the Hollow auto attacks and whatnot. And then really, what have they got? Just rifle abilities, which you can reflect and swelling winds and stuff. So the matchup's always been pretty good, I feel. However, one of the nerfs has meant, so here, this Hollow's engaging on me, and I've been holding my Earth for a long time. I know he's in Photon Forge, so as he comes towards me, I know it's likely he's going to Photon Blitz. And I use my Reflect, so as soon as the fight starts, I bait him into the Photon Blitz, and now we can basically global a lot of Hollows off the bat. It used to be that would always trigger into an Elixir S, like straight away, and then they'd be invulnerable, they'd reposition, they'd go towards support, they'd get cooldowns back, they'd be ready to dodge afterwards, and then stealth and blah blah blah. And now you can get the globals very comfortably. Obviously good Hollows still. This guy, you know, we're right at the start of the game. He undoubtedly could have drank an Elixir S and he would have saved himself. But the quick kills are now a little bit more possible for those who aren't expecting them. So it's really nice. That's change one. Another one of the big changes has been to do with Deadeye. Now, I don't have a bonus clip for you, though I've had many games where I just can't remember exactly where. Death's Judgment is no longer unblockable, which also means it's deflectable, so Swirling Winds is now, once again, a cushy safety net. There's a very big difference between a stealth Deadeye pre-patch to a stealth Deadeye post-patch now, in terms of having to constantly be kiting to terrain and moving weirdly and, you know, potentially even random dodging and all that kind of stuff. And now you can just throw Swelling Winds up and you know you're safe, and you can anticipate these things. You can do all kinds of nice stuff. And not only is it Swelling Windsable, but they're reflectable too. So, you know, that's a huge hit. And you can reflect the Deadeyes and score multiple kills just from that with their Death's Judgments. It's a massive Deadeye nerf. There were other things that changed about Thief 2. The lead strikes and whatnot, and I've not felt too pressured by SD, DP thieves and whatnot today. The new cluster bombs are a little bit problematic, but you know, this is a build that can counter those. So anyway, that's a couple of the things. There's also another big target we have more available now, which I will talk about in the actual game itself. So let's jump on into it. Have a really cool bonus clip here with the Fiery Greatsword I want to show you guys in the middle of a Revenge on the Capricorn. Do a lot of Fresh Air Qs. There's going to be some Fiery Greatsword highlights. As always, I need to explain to you guys why it is the most important elite of the 3 and the impact it can have. So, here we've just seen a Deadeye Stealth. And as I've explained, Deadeyes aren't so scary anymore. Really what I'm doing is helping us cap the bell here. So I'm going to try and Reflect, but I do it slightly too late. He Death's Judgments really quickly. So Reflect doesn't trigger, and now I've got blocks as well, which is kind of frustrating. I guess this is kind of cool. The Reflects protect the blocks. I didn't know that. Anyway, so the Deadeye's just shot himself a ton. That's not got really anything to do with the Death's Judgment patch. We would have killed him a lot quicker if I'd played with that properly. Anyway, so with his own pressure and me, I've managed to score the kill here, which is good, because I got two players here doing nothing up at the bell. This guy's kind of low, and I'm scared that he's going to jump in. Now I see that this res is coming, so this is why this becomes a bonus clip. every beat and lick of damage here is really important because this res is very heavy. To summon the fiery greatsword and swing this is gonna cause my pressure to dip because I'm gonna stop attacking, right? So we get as many attacks as we feel we can, which also stacks a bit of vuln and helps us cross that gap, right? And then what I do here is I lightning flash on top and we do a bit of damage. We summon the greatsword. I guess the greatsword misses. Maybe it's not as tight as I think. But he's almost got the res here. And then as soon as we get the fire greatsword, we've blinked in a position where what we're going to do is rush against this wall. If this was the full game of the day, one thing you'd be able to appreciate about this clip a bit better is how I've only used the fire greatsword now because I know that the down state is near this. Now, he can actually port and move, but what's probably going through his mind right now is I need to stay so that the Mesmer can res. He might be smart enough to think about porting over here, but then he might think that's a bit of a waste. So I can understand why he hasn't. Anyway, I'm going to use the skill 3 against the wall. And we are going to get 15,000 damage on this guy. And we're going to global the Reser. We're going to global the Reser with 18,000 damage. And then we can drop the 5. And this is really good. This is a very heavy play because it sustains a 3 cap when we're on the back foot and gets us Bell. Sorry, it sustains the 3 cap. That's their 3 cap. It gives us the Bell. It gives us a lot of kill points. And we can actually swing out. I can't remember if we won or lost this game in the end, but that was pretty cool. Another Fire Greatsword play as well was on Forest of Niflhel. And the clip starts here. We're at far. We are losing on points. We're going for the big snowball here, but my allies died. I guess I'm actually coming in to help. And I see that there's this thief who's just leaving the engagement, right? So he's 100% health. I wasn't even in combat. You've just watched the fight start. So he's going to try and leave, and we're going to chase it because chasing it allows me to hit him. But I'm not necessarily just greeding for the kill here. I'm also making sure that he's illuminated on Fog of War, and my allies know that they can rotate to the keep and whatnot. Worst case scenario, I can be there. So, yeah, we go for this, and I go for the Gale because he stops moving, and it's slightly out of range. They're so close, and the knockdown would have been really nice. That's why there's a Plasma Beam here, and this is kind of a bad Plasma Beam because the Gale didn't land, but I went for it. Once it started missing, I realized I can Lightning Flash forwards, and I do a lot of damage, but he'd Shadow Stepped earlier? Oh, it just expired. So, here's where this thief makes a mistake. He just took a withdraw towards me. What he wanted to do was about face and going that way, and he probably would have been okay. But he took the withdraw and maybe even a roll for initiative, I just saw. Did he do both? Backwards, and that's put him into the dragon's den, the lair. So I wait for his roll to end and trigger the blinding flash, which causes him to miss when he steals in. The reason he stole there was for Mug, so he could regenerate a bit of health. And anticipating that we can... Yeah, I'd aim for a blind anyway, so whatever, I guess. I can't say that I was looking specifically for steal there, just anything. And now he's going to try and run in the other direction, but we get the kill, all right? So remember, we've just lost the snowball play there, but I did manage to get a kill around the back. So I go for swirls and I go for the stomp. I can't actually lightning flash when and if he moves, but... So I don't know why I actually go for that stomp. Normally I would just cleave that, I think. Anyway, so yeah, we get a necro here. So this is a blood res that's coming in progress. As you is that actually a blood? It looks like there's a blood animation down there. Yeah, he's got last rites on him. So this guy doesn't deteriorate health naturally, and he's getting revived with a well of blood, which is worth like what, 4% per tick, 3% per tick, whatever it is now. Plus the power of the resing itself. So we fire a greatsword onto it. We whirl through, and we've killed the necro there straight up. So, yeah, pretty goddamn good. And we've now turned that into a double kill at the back of keep. Had my, which overall, all that's meant is that my warrior and my necro have had nothing to do. But hey, and we even get against the wall value for this one again. This is such a good weapon, guys. Please, please pick these up. Watch this. This guy's going to wander past and he's not going to pick it up. Pick them up. They're just as good. Well, they're you know, other people might not get as many modifiers as a fresh air ellie, but they're excellent things, and there's always 2 that comes down. You also can have one. Anyway, so yeah, 2 bonus clips about the Fire Greatsword. Let's get into the game. The game is on North America, so I actually, and it's at 5 in the morning, so I actually deliberately left EU. At one point tonight, I was plat 3, fresh air, purely from fresh air on EU. And then I realized the queues were getting really bad. And it wasn't that I particularly cared to climb too much. It was just really frustrating, and I didn't really like it. So I swapped to NA, and now this is like the end of those NA placements. I made the swap maybe at 2 in the morning or something like that. I don't know. It's been a few hours of fresh airing today. So anyway, yeah, we are on NA, and we're seeing how we go. Skyhammer isn't a very good map for this build, as you guys should know. And I warn you, it's a very good game we're about to watch. Like, in terms of close points and whatnot, it's a very good game. Everything will count. But my gameplay, I think, is a bit mediocre, maybe. I was quite tired as I was playing this, so we'll see if there's some mistakes. Like, so at the start here, I'm looking towards mid, obviously. I'm double tapping my fire aura to give everyone might. We're clustered together, which means we're vulnerable, but we also get some of these benefits. And what you'll actually notice is going on here is none of us went close. I don't really believe that should be me. Maybe the holo going close is the best one at this point, maybe. I don't know. I can see why no one wants it. Anyway, so we come together, and really what we want to do is get to the side or something. I was going to take the arcane wave here for some immobilize on the enemies as they move in. Not a very big deal. So this guy gets burst by me, quite low, and he takes the port back with the new spectral walk. And you're going to see he still has the effect on him, even though he's teleported back. Maybe he's on worm and walk, which is kind of cool if he is. He should be shedding condies here, though. Meanwhile, Core Guard comes in and takes full advantage. This is because this is Skyhammer here. I've just been Core Guard burst. I wasn't the priority target. The priority target was our Reaper, who had no life force yet, and instantly goes down. So I don't like the look of this whatsoever. And I pull back, and now I've just realized no one even picked up close, and I'm low, so this is now an opportunity for me. So I'm going to go towards close. There's a bit of a nasty looking double dodge there. It was mostly that I was scared of a sword 2 from the Guardian afterwards, but I guess he'd used it anyway. I'm going to note as well, my sigils I've been changing here. I'm actually on cleansing and annulment here. The idea, cleansing I actually really like. It's a beautiful weakness rip for the builds. And it also, like Core Guard you just saw, burst me and I had a stack of burning on me. And, you know, it gets rid of that burning. In some other situations, it will get rid of, like, that one weakness that's really important. What was the other scenario that... There's just quite a few really nice scenarios. Sometimes if... it's very hard to discuss the whole setup, but quite often when you're against an Axe Mirage... they can chunk you if they've just got their ambush 3, but you've managed to dodge afterwards. Quite often as you're peeling away, you'll find you've just got a lot of confusion on you and nothing else. Well, it starts getting rid of that. I just really like the sigil, to be honest. And annulment, I'm trying. The idea being rip some retail so I can maintain scholar bonus a little bit more, and also retail is just a pain in the ass. And then also protection in various environments as well. So anyway, I think I'm going to go pick up close. I don't think that's a mistake on my part to leave mid when I did, because the re-establishing of the fight is so tricky here on Skyhammer 2. We needed it, but now the enemy team has pushed far with their side noder. So that's what you'll really see here. We don't really have a good side noder. They do. That's a duelist weaver, arguably the better spec. And what they presumably did was picked up point A, and now they've come here. So we're all on nothing, really. Meanwhile, my team's still fighting mid. One of us got defeated already. That was the person who got burst by the Core Guard. Enemy team's not going for the node, which is correct. Here I see that there's a spectral walk. I don't really know whether that's mine, though, or theirs. And the point is that the fight could easily come up here. So that's why I'm lingering. And I can hit this Daredevil quite comfortably. They're going for a res. It would be very risky for me to assist with this because there's so much pressure due in on that owing to the enemy Guardian. So anyway, I can take, you know, we're ranged. We can do a bit of range pressure. Now this is... There have been some games I almost did Game of the Days today because there's quite a few new builds rolling around straight away. The number of Condi thieves that are spamming dodges is unbelievable at the moment. I'm not saying that that's good. I'm just saying I've seen a lot since the patch. Maybe because of lead attacks changing... And they feel like, you know, those builds haven't been punished so much. I don't know. There's also a lot more sword shield hollows roaming around, especially on NA. I don't think there's any of those in this queue anyway. So, yeah, we take out that thief, and I think it scores us the rally or something because we're still able to continue going here. Then I look under here, and I see that my another Reaper, because I've got 2, right, is being attacked. And one of the enemies that killed him is climbing up. So they've left just one to deal with the body. So here there's a core guard super low, and I never noticed that. Wow, in the moment. I don't think I can quite blame myself for that. So we go for the FGS here. Oh, that reminds me. I had a cool bonus clip of FGS. In fact, I had 2 cool bonus clips with FGS. All right, okay. I just went and did the bonus clips you watched at the start of the video. Now that I've remembered. Okay, so we're here. This guy double dodges away, so I know I can pressure him if I really want. That's why I opt for the damage here instead of the res, for what it's worth. But the other guys come down. More spectral walking, as you can see, that's around here. And they're both quite low, but it's like, what target do I want, you know? I have some AoE ability, but not too much. We go for the Scourge here, who's not going to be dipping into Shroud or anything. But then he rallies when this finally goes down. A bit of a shame. Maybe I should have watched my timing. Then I noticed that the core guard's on me. And so I blink up here, but the thing is, I realize about now, when I walk over here, I'm not, it's a core guard, it could probably judges to me. So I'm going to turn around, and I take the random dodge here in case he is trying to do it. We can see he's got shield 5 up at least. Because what I actually want to do is land on this spot here, where he can't do anything. And also, we can continue the cleave on the Scourge. The Scourge gets a garish pillar on me there, and puts me into a leftover mark of blood from a dodge roll, presumably. Which was kind of lame. I could have picked up my old FGS there, funnily enough. But anyway, we come up, we score the kill, but it's too hot up there. Everyone's dead, you know, like, it's a struggle and a stagger of a scenario. That Weaver's back, he's just going to be in my face and CCing constantly, so I may as well just leave. The Weaver's following me, and is very sticky to me. I've seen a lot of Sword Weavers be like this lately. I don't know whether it's really a good play. All I can say from my perspective as a fresh air Ellie is it's irritating, but it doesn't necessarily stop me doing my job, because I can outpace them mostly. Sometimes you'll find they can actually burst forwards, and if they're very, very good with chaining their super speeds, you know, like they proc it out of their Polaric Leap and stuff, they'll do very well. But, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so it's kind of his job to side node, chasing kind of a roaming DPS, just damage builds, isn't necessarily a good idea. Anyway, so, oh, right, okay, so this I think is all questionable that I'm doing right now. Basically, I'm taking the pressure on him, because I don't know what his cooldowns are like. So this is silly of me, I think, personally. But the other thing I've noticed is with him running down around here, I don't think he realizes that this is no port. And I think he was trying to Polaric Leap to me, but couldn't. And because of that, I'm now wondering if he's bad. That's basically what I'm thinking. And I go for the damage. So then he tries to pressure. And also what I'm thinking right now that could be fun is, one thing I'd love to practice more is getting perfect CCs as people try and do jumps. Because I use jumping puzzles a lot. You know, Skyhammer, they're very simple and it's built in there. So you might not even register this as one. But I would consider it as a kite spot, right? I use this kind of stuff a lot. But one thing I think would be really cool is if I just had a lot of natural understanding on how to, you know, nail someone with the chill, the water 4, right at the right time as they're trying to do a jump or whatever. Anyway, so that's what I'm thinking. And here, funnily enough, he just misses the jump. Again, I think he might be kind of new to Skyhammer. Anyway, we get a Necro casting marks on us. Uses the Torch 5. Not very good. I come to this spot and then jump back because I'm hoping to bait him over. He comes again, though. This is all kind of a waste of time, but now that I'm wasting 2 of their times, it's okay. It at least allows my team to reestablish, right? You know, the end game, if these guys weren't here, obviously the end objective would be to climb up, bounce up that pad and take a neutralization. So anyway, we get him very low here. That is what I was hoping the kill would be. You gotta understand as well, I'm trying nullification right now, and if that means I'm ripping protection now where I wasn't in the past, you never know. Because now that I'm running nullification, I've just traded a 5% damage sigil, so I want to feel like I haven't really lost any damage. So here I port up. You saw I hesitated. It's because I know he can Polaric Leap up too. But it's whatever. Essentially, once that Scourge leaves again, it's very clear what's actually happening there is I'm 1v1ing a Weaver on his node, basically. No, we're not actually on the node, but it's a bad play from me, so I'm leaving, right? I don't want him I don't mind him marking me as long as I'm in an actual fight, you know, and I've got someone with a win condition. And you'll see there's quite a big moment where I'm playing with that later. So anyway, there's a body that's down and we cleave it. The Weaver was still on me, but I think I've shaken him to those. So I go for a decap here. We're all alive and we've scored a kill. So I think that this is a good decap. I'm not going to stay for full. We don't need it. And the hammer, obviously, there's a huge fight going on. So I've got a big decision here. Close, it looks like we're free capping, but it doesn't mean anything if we lose that hammer fight. We almost won that. We almost charged the hammer, but now there's a fight, and I think we're likely to lose the fight based on how we were losing mid before. So I can go through this portal to try and swing it, or I can go up to point B and cap that and hope they'll sustain until my Necro then goes in, right? After he's full capped it. The idea with the point B fight is that, yes, my ally's dead, but that means that the Guardian's probably low, and I can just kill him quite comfortably. So you can see, even here, I was thinking, should I go in the portal? And I decide this in the end. So then we see that a Daredevil comes out, and I take some chance pressure on him, and blink forwards. So this was bad. I got done there pretty hard. That was pretty stupid of me, to be honest, to follow him down there. The fact that he's leaving is a sign that my team has lost the fight already, by the way. So as soon as I saw he came out, I knew that the Asura Gate was a dead end, really, because if he's happily rotating off, you know, I'm not going to be able to force too many kills under that. Anyway, so we do some pressure. So he kites off and he's low. Then I retarget and see what's going on here. I kill this guy, but there's another rally. I knock him down and I go for a plasma beam, but the plasma beam cancel casts, really frustrating. And then I get stolen into and sleight of hand. Probably would have interrupted it anyway before I got the kill. And now I know I'm in major danger, so I'm running towards my spawn if I can, but it's too much. And I've been condied down and hit by the Scourge and the Weaver together. So, yeah, pretty bad. My mistake there was probably not realizing. I'm probably playing a bit greedy because I really want kills at the moment because I've had so many and then they've just been rallied or rezzed. But realistically, you know, that down I got, it looked very exciting, but there was always going to be another rally, right? So I should have used that moment to escape while I could. So anyway, we're on respawn, and we've got close, where a guy just died, but maybe there's something we can do. This guy's low on health. All right, so yeah, I was going to ignore this. Like, I was an inch away from ignoring it, but I saw he just double-dipped Shroud. Now, the reason he did that is he wanted the mobility of Shroud, but he didn't want to drain it until he was in a fight, which is a normal Reaper thing to do. However, he obviously wasn't looking at the fact I've just respawned. And by doing that, he's put his Shroud on cooldown, and he's super low health. So I can, in theory, kill him. He stun breaks with Spectral Walk and hides down here. What he wants me to do is jump down, because I just went really aggressive with the Lightning Flash, so I've got nothing if I go down there. He wants me to go down so he can Spectral Walk back the other side. So instead, and I know the map, there's nothing that he can line of sight me, so I'm just going to stand here and hit him. But our friend, the Duelist Weaver, is on me again. So it's imperative we get this in the next 3 seconds or so before that Shroud returns. And he goes up the next jumping puzzle, and the damage has forced me away here. So here's a situation where having a duelist just follow this build has been working out quite well, actually, I think. There's a thief in the area as well. So this isn't... Look at the score, by the way. Our team has not been doing very well. Okay? 66 to 274. All right? Feeling like a loss, isn't it? But this will go down to the win or lose. This will go down to the wire. So anyway, this guy's low. He shrouds. I'm caught just out of range constantly. Pretty frustrating game, honestly, in a lot of scenarios. My holo helps me score the kill there. Actually, I don't think he really did anything in Photon Forge there. Maybe he got a bit of damage. But yeah, so anyway, we cleave that down and basically defend far point there. Because we have that. Once again, my team is dying. We've got 3 players dead. It's only me and the holo that have really been consistently alive this game. I've had 1 death. And I don't know about him. I'm not watching that closely. But anyway, so once again, we've all wiped. The reason I'm only going for a decap here is because whatever the holo's fighting, I want to help while everyone else is getting back on the map. And if this does get... if I do get, what's the word, contested there's a very low chance I'll be able to beat it quickly. And I don't want to signal to the random people I've match made that, like, I've got this, okay? Because they can easily think that I might, because when they see the specialization icon, they might think, oh, that's a duelist. So yeah, I'm going to help whatever he's doing. He's my only other ally, and I think sticking together and actually creating an opportunity there together is probably a good idea. Anyway, it's the dodgy thief. I think he double taps. No, he doesn't double tap Shadow Step. Maybe it's just a bit of lag. So anyway, now we've got the hammer. And he's been contesting it very well. This is only a core guard, so we can deal with this. This is good. The core guard does something really interesting here. He runs up towards his Asura gate. And I think he's going to leave. And so I leave as well, which will put us both out next to each other and I can kill him. But interestingly, he doesn't, which means that I've just kind of eliminated myself from the fight. It all happened so fast. I don't know if the core guard saw that he might have seen that I came through, because, I mean, the lightning strikes are pretty obvious. But that's a really cool play, actually. If you're in a 1v1 at hammer and a plus comes in, just immediately make a beeline for the exit, but don't actually go through. You might bait the plus to leave, because now there's this, which, you know, disallows my re-entry for a while. So that's really cool, actually. Whether the guard did it on purpose or not, it doesn't really bother me. It's just knowing that that's a possibility. So here I'm going for this guy, which you might say is a bit of a waste of time, but we see that they have the Weaver who just capped this anyway, point A. If I'd gone there, I would have just been caught in a fight with him, and he would have been following me and on me pretty hard. And then this guy might have seen something. I don't know. I guess I thought maybe I could have an opportunity there. I don't get it in the end. I missed this jump. All right, so here we precast the Gale as we drop down, because I saw he fell, and I don't know... how do I describe this? Last he saw of me, I was wandering towards the node. So when I... Remember, the way I looked at him was using about face with the camera. So I haven't signaled to him in any way that I care what he's doing anymore. So I see he falls down, and all of that just makes me think he's probably not expecting me to be aggressive or anything. He probably thinks I've changed my agenda already. So as soon as he's down the pit, he no longer has line of sight of what's going on. So I take a precast Gale, drop down, and burst him, and I get the kill. Does that all make sense? Here I'm going for the stomp, and I'm 100% aware that in downstate he can port to the ceiling. And I'm frustrated because I'd love to have lightning flash and go up there with him and stomp it anyway. Which is something I love to do on Skyhammer, but I haven't had an opportunity for a while. Anyway, so we take the Arcane Wave to interrupt the res, give ourselves Ferocity so that the kill can go through quickly. I also am reflecting. You might not have seen that on the skill bar. It went through a bit quickly. But that means his daggers I'm using against him. And he ports to the side and bandages. I mean, I don't know. But anyway, from this... I've not really... I've eliminated this guy. My team's done well, basically. Finally, we're closing the gap a little bit here because my team has actually managed to get a double cap. The Weaver's towards me. The enemy Scourge is towards me. So now I'm just going to rotate away. Take the knockdown. The Hollow's in there. So here I took a burst, and I knew I shouldn't have. They nearly always go the water into the earth, and then like a twist of fate at the end, which I think is exactly what you saw you did there. It's after the twist of fate, really, you want to go for it. The Thumper turret gets a beautiful knockdown there. We dodged the fire too. And now, by the way, I believe I can take this kill here, this fight, because we did just kill their thief, and we are essentially defending a double cap with this. Which there is enough time for us to get back into the map with that. However, I can't really do it on my own, and the Hollow leaves, so as soon as he stops, I stop too. The enemy Weaver should not be on me anymore. He should be going to point C. If he goes to point C, he totally screws everything up for me right now, because one of us has to rotate and address that, and no one on our team is in a position where they can right now. You know, we've got a Necro who's behind the line that we're establishing, and he's already tied up with a thief. So yeah, that Weaver is too bloodthirsty, definitely at this point. Possibly the entire game he has been. So here, I come up to the kite spot. We burst the Scourge. And now you notice we're starting to get I'm not really doing anything too different, but now I'm doing it before the fight is over and rallies are manifesting everywhere, which is really nice. So the Core Guard or the Weaver, I go on who my allies are on. Hoping that there's a better opportunity there. I see he blinks up, so I blink up with him, and we plasma beam him down. Come back towards the 1v1 here. So now I don't really like what I'm doing. This is alright, because we're rotting 2 of them. This guy we killed earlier is still being bled out, and we have that Weaver being bled out, which is nice. And we're going to get a 3 cap out of it, but I don't really like spending too long there. There's a lot of situations where I feel like I shouldn't get obstructed on the kite spots here on Skyhammer, but I do get obstructed. And I'm sure a lot of classes feel that. Something about the 900 range and the arc. Anyway, so I've come to mid. I guess at some point I saw that this Daredevil was really low. And instead of capping it, because I know we're all sort of pulling back, I'm going to go for him. But then I guess I don't think going for him's a good idea, because it's already a 2v2 there and he's super low. So that's fine, and hammer's up. So I go for the hammer. So it's me versus a Scourge or hammer. Now, the whole way through this video, I mentioned that there's like 3 changes, all right? You've got Death's Judgment is no longer unblockable, so we can reflect it and we can deflect it. That's an amazing change. Elixir S on automatic going away, and the barrier not being if you get a perfect burst, the barrier isn't even enough. You know, if you cycle through, you can global hollows. That's kind of a stars aligning situation, by the way. They eat the entire photon blitz and everything. That bonus clip I showed you at the start is kind of a stars aligning thing. Now here's the third important change. Last Gasp is no longer in the game. So if I'm against a Scourge or a Reaper or a Necro, the standard like opening is putting them much lower than it used to. Much lower. I would expect them to normally be at about still 30 or 40% health right now. And I can follow up very comfortably as well. So this very clean kill on this Scourge here, who presumably did have some life force and could have popped some barrier, obviously, and other ones will. But, you know, that wasn't possible before the patch. And yeah, I figured why I would have done a bonus clip of me even more cleanly killing some of these Scourges. But I knew that there was one in this game, so whatever. So right before I'm about to cap the hammer, once again, the duelist is here. So there is a bit of a question mark on what I do next. I will die to this guy, and I'll die really quickly unless I can kite, and this is a notoriously small spot. So I've got like 3 options. There's no win condition, there's no kill, there's only stalling. So I can stall by staying really heavy-footed and try and sustain our cap, which will likely get me killed very quickly unless people come to help. And unfortunately, right now I look at the minimap and I see that I think this, let me rewind, I'm pretty sure, wasn't that Necro in mid and he's just wandered? No, okay, alright, never mind. Yeah, so anyway, I know that I've got no reinforcements, basically. Is what's going through my mind at the moment. So option 1 is to try and stay really heavy-footed. I don't really like that idea, because I don't think anyone's going to get here quick enough. Option number 2 is to like stay up, but kite around a lot more. And if he wants to follow me off, then okay, here's how it would work. I would come off and start attacking him, and he'd be like, crap, I'm going to die. Or he would evade. But he's going to come and he's going to have to counter pressure, right? At which point he can't cap anymore. So that's like a slow stall where we would lose all of our progress, but I'd be able to, and eventually I'd get back on. And I decide I don't like that idea either, because again, he'll evade a lot while he's on it. And I don't even value my kill chance being that high, even if he just lets me free cast on him from the side. Option 3 is to leave. Another problem with the first 2 options is I don't even have a guarantee in a solo queue that any allies will arrive. They might just think I'm going to fight and win it, you know? So I just think, screw it. If somebody wants the hammer, then they're going to have to take the hammer. And I leave. And as I'm leaving, I notice that this guy's going in. And I guess I figure he can fight it. Now, I know he's low, but he's also will have broken combat. So, yeah, I leave, and I don't know, maybe that's a bad idea. Looking on it here, maybe it's a bad idea. I do get a very, very, very quick plus there. And I remember as soon as I got that kill, I was like, there you go, I've been valuable somewhere else on the map. I'll come to the hammer now. And I should go to the hammer. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, but by the time I get here, the enemy teams also had a plus in as well. That was the other risk of me staying there, by the way. If I get plussed, you know, I don't have great escape potential here. You got to do the little jumps, and it's very closed. Anyway, so yeah, I come straight back after I get that on far. and the guy's low, and let me just to purely demonstrate that I was 100% confident I wanted to come back. I saw he was in downstate, and you're going to see basically I double tap F, press F, and then res straight away. What I was actually worried about was that when he was trying to flee, he'd gone to the other one, which I wouldn't have been moved next to. So good play from my allied Reaper here. He actually climbed up the right stairs to get the ambulance assistance. Anyway, so I'm going for the res, and I can't see what's going on with my camera until now, when the stomp's about to finish, and I'm not going to be able to target the correct. So what I've done right now, I think, is press tab, and I'm still on this downstate guy, maybe? Anyway, I can't interrupt this. I maybe could have if I'd got the camera sorted a bit quicker, you know, with the Earthen Synergy. I don't know whether this guy had already blown his fear. Anyway, so we're going to lose the hammer for that. And we do have a 3 cap. And we've been getting back in the game massively over the past, 5 minutes? But yeah, I don't think going for the res instead of contesting the point was a mistake, by the way. I don't know. I'll tell you what. I actually think my mindset with Skyhammer is I probably don't treat the hammer as seriously as I should. Especially when you've got a 3 cap. Maybe everything should have been about getting on that node. The Weaver's not going to kill me that quick. Anyway, so we leave, and again, we get some value. I'm typing in chat now because the guy said, why did you leave hammer? And with regard to the original situation, I had no win condition, and that's why I left. So that's why I said that. So anyway, I come back to far. If I wasn't typing, I could have done this a bit quicker. I killed this worm because I don't want the Reaper porting up and like pre-casting a chill to the bone and doing it or something. I also don't want him being able to escape. And there's no rally potential here because his buddy just zerged off. And if I get the down, it's all good. But his buddy comes back right as I drop, which is good awareness of him there. We get the nice downstate knockback, but he has full shroud. I remember what went through my mind at this moment was, wow, why does he have full shroud? You lost the 1v1 without, well, the outnumbered, the 2v1, without him even going into shroud? Anyway, so he's low and he left, and I just put myself right into the core guard's damage just because I want this kill. I'm out of range for the plasma beam, so it's a bit sad, to be honest, to look at. And we go ham with our own Reaper there. One thing I will say that my team's been doing really well is rotting. Very, very good at the moment. You look at all the... in fact, I think you could produce a totally different flavor of commentary for this video that isn't really about me and my build, but it's just about the value in extending respawn timers. Look at how difficult it's been for the enemy team. Most of the gap close in terms of these points has been because they've had such long respawns. So many of their bodies have just been left there, and they've not been doing well trying to res them and force us to deal with them, and it's been really, really, really good. I'll tell you guys, one of the things I've always really wanted to do, you know, I've had various PvP things I wanted to do over the years, like tutorials and stuff, but one thing I'd love to really demonstrate to people is just how extremely valuable bleeding bodies are, because maybe I overestimate how great it is, but Conquest is all about momentum, and I think that is a huge, huge, huge thing to be able to pull off. It goes vastly underappreciated. Anyway, I'm kind of on autopilot now because we've won the game. I come up towards this core guards, and he's Ring of Warding'd me. So what's really interesting is as I come up, I go through his Ring of Warding, which is invisible because of the animations and stuff. Well, almost invisible. But the new Glacial Heart trait means that I get chilled as I go up through it, which is kind of cool. Anyway, I know he's going to hammer blows, so instead of dodging, because I would fall off and go back into the ring, and I don't know what's going to happen there, would I hit the ring and then come back? I take the Twist of Fate dodge, which is pretty clean and comfy. But overall, I really don't want to be up here, do I? So I come back down and let the Hollow engage. The Hollow's been doing very well, I think, this game, and is one of the only reasons this comeback has happened whatsoever. So anyway, we we get bursted again and lightning flash across. This is all a bit embarrassing, to be honest, a bit bad. But a lot of it's because of this map. This map is just so crap for fresh air. Like there, look at all the obstructs. Gross. I swear to God, I would never vote on this map when I'm playing fresh air, ever. It's so gross. Anyway, so come back through. Waiting for him. There's an enemy Reaper there, so I Obsidian Flesh. I'm I'm not quite sure what happened with my dead Reaper there. It's starting to feel like the start of the game a little bit here, so I'm a bit concerned. All right, right. Yeah, okay. This is a good game, okay? So, there's not many points left. There's actually a lot to talk about. Once again, I actually have 4 decisions right now. Decision number 1. Do I go back to where I just was and try and hold it neutral for a while? Right now, we're in a situation of a status quo victory, which means if nothing changes, if the status quo continues, we win only because we have slightly more points than them in the first place. We're both teams are accelerating points at the same rate, but we would win, all right? So going for the contest gives us that status quo victory. I don't need to flip the node. I need to just keep it neutral, and there's that. However, if they full cap it, they are on path to beat us, especially with kill points, okay, which they might get. So that's option number 1. Option number 2, do I anticipate that A is going to flip, which I know it will, and I'm not going to be able to stop it. So instead, neutralize B, which means, once again, we have 1 node, they have 1 node, and it's a status quo victory. Do I go option 3 and plus B? Which is my ally against a thief, my Reaper against a thief. We could kill the thief really quickly and guarantee that. That gives us an extra 5 points, but means we'll be 2 capped against. Or, last but not least, do I go help at the hammer, which threatens to neutralize everything at once? And, you know, we might die up there. So, it's a lot to take in. Even here on post-commentary, I must admit, I'm not 100% sure which I think is my favorite play. Which one do I go for? I go for option. I can't remember where we listed it. Option number 2. I'm gonna neutralize B. Instead of going to the hammer, instead of going to the plus. Now the reason I don't like the look of the plus is it's a thief, and I think that my on this map especially, I think I think we'll do fine. Also, by the way, it's a very dodgy thief. If that was like an SD thief who could go in and out of the wall over and over and over again, maybe I would have felt a bit different, but I feel like my guy was okay there. So my Reaper goes to hammer, which is good. I think he's better at hammer than I am. So that's nice. My point B plan immediately starts to fail, though, because the core guard I'd been wrestling with has pushed up and marked me quicker than I anticipated, which is very good. So now the game has changed again, where what I'm going to do... usually I find I'm in this situation on Mesmer, and I can drop a portal, and I know that I've won it, absolutely. But here on Fresh Air, it's not the same. So I dodge the focus, and I take a Twist of Fate in case he's about to quickly snap after the focus. But now I know that I can't quickly win that. So instead what I'm going to do is race back to A and go for the neutralization. So here he bursts me at the end of the Twist of Fate. What I really should be doing is watching the animation there. Here, I weapon swap and get Cleanse from the Cleansing Sigil, which removes the Immobilize, which is pretty instrumental. Then, now that I know he's used his 2 ports, I blink back behind him to where my ally has just decapped the node. And I feel like I should have shaken him reasonably well. So, now this is, I'm not saying what I've done has been of value, I'm just explaining how it led to me doing what I did, right? Now, I'm kind of low, and I know the core guard might want to still fight me. It'll be a while before he can engage from a big distance. So I'm not too scared of the core guard right now, despite my health, despite not having a heal, and so on. But I am limited in what I can do. I can't really stop him at B just yet. I want to sustain the stat. We've successfully kind of done the plan 2 right now. It's just we did it through the hands of our ally by baiting the core guard away, right? If the core guard hadn't been... Well, anyway. So basically now, we're getting so close to the end of the game, and I can see that the hammer hasn't charged at all, that now the plus play seems really good to me, because, number 1, the thief has probably dodged a ton, so he's really susceptible to a quick kill. All I have to do is just time the gale for at the end of a dodge, and then there you go, we're done. We CC him and blow him up. He's unlikely to be able to stun break it effectively. And even if he tries to stun break with like a shadow step, again, this map is annoying. He might not get too far with it. So that's number 1. But number 2, it's so if we get that kill, that's 5 points. And that should be what we need to win, hopefully. So that's what I go for. Now, there is a very big downside to what I go for. And also, it gets me away from the core guard, who might stick about capping B. So, now as we're coming around here, you can see that my ally actually lost his 1v1. My Reaper's died now. So this is really terrible, or really good. My decision to come here, if I can kill this thief, I can deny them 5 points and give us 5 points and sustain the node. But I have to get there. The worst case scenario is it gets stomped like now and a decap happens, and that's just a nightmare scenario. So I'm really gunning it here. I can only go as fast as I can go. So they get the stomp and the 5 points, but I immediately drop down stun and burst, and the guy's dead. Once again, I can't really do anything to quick stomp this out. He ports, but he tries to stay on the node. So we get the kill here. So, now the entirety of... So I've given us the 5 points. We've got 5 points till the end of the game. The entirety of my focus now is on the party window. So what I've done by ignoring Hammer all game... And honestly, I think through the post-commentary, I can see that I should care more about Hammer in matches. But what I've done is I've condemned my team. They're all team fighters. All of them are, I would say, right? So, you know, it's not like I've done something really stupid here. I'm less of a team fighter than the rest, I think. But I've condemned them all to a team fight, which they have been losing as the match has gone along. Now, if too many of them die, the enemy team can still win this because 3 deaths equals 15 points. So that's what I'm watching here. There's nothing else for me to do. I'll never get to the hammer in time. I'll never get to B in time. All I can do is stand here and be 100% sure that this isn't going to get decapped. So I watch the timer. And we're dying. Like, every second here is, like, agony. Okay? And now... okay, this is it. The next 2 ticks are going to see if we win or lose this game, guys. Because our Guardian just went downstate. This guy's really low. In the next tick... Here we go, all right. We're now in a situation where if they are stomping, safe stomping our core guard and about to cleave this out, they will get 10 points and win on the next tick. And I tell you what, this last second felt like one of the longest seconds I've ever played in Conquest where, you know, it's just been a random ranked game that doesn't even really matter very much. So the seconds rolling through... And they never got the stomp, so, or the cleave, actually, in truth. So we do win, but it was an incredibly close game. In retrospect, I think there are actually a lot of little things that I should have done differently, and I should have played a bit more at Hammer. It might be very easy for you guys to think and say that, but I do have a lot of experience fighting at Hammer on a fresh air build, and it's not a nice area to fight. There's lots of little posts that obstruct you. There's not great kite space. The best places to fight from are just standing where the Asura gates are, but you get counter-hazed extremely hard there. Yes, you can vapor back through, but it's often a death trap, so I am quite averse to it on this build. You watch a Reaper game of the day on this map, you'll see I gun it up there all the time. And that's essentially what's kind of going on in the back of my head in this game. It's, you know, let my Reapers be up there and let my Hollow be up there, right? And I know that that's not a firebrand, but even the core guard to an extent... Well, the core guard probably doesn't want to be up there anymore, much more than me. But they're all close together, and he's got a better AoE burst than I do, you know. I'm only single target mostly. So, yeah, I think it is down to me to be on the map a bit more. But, yeah, so anyway, fun game, big comeback that we did win in the end. And my assessment of post-patch Fresh Air is it's actually it's better. No, it's a lot better. It's still not a good build. I don't think it's a great build. I really don't. But it's a lot better than it was. Probably of all the changes, the Deadeye one has felt the most significant to me. And then the Necro. Being able to hunt Necros better is really good feeling. So yeah. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed. And I'll see you for the next one tomorrow.